The Bold and the Beautiful recap for Thursday, August 21st, reveals that Electra Forrester texted Will Spencer while he was in bed with Luna Nozawa. So here's how the drama unfolded. At the Forrester estate, Electra sat in her pajamas with Ivy Forrester, discussing the wild party and how buzzed Will became. Electra felt pleased by Will's actions, but she also did not want him intoxicated on their first date. However, Electra thought Will was her person and intimated to Ivy that she was ready for the next step with him, possibly as soon as tomorrow night. Ivy was overjoyed with the news and predicted that things would be beautiful while Electra waited for the right guy. In Deacon Sharp's spare room, B&B fans noticed Will's hazy expression as he smiled at the return of Electra. Luna was wearing the same mask that Electra had worn previously, but Will mistook her for his lover and stripped down. Will started chanting Electra's name and attempted to remove Luna's mask, but she stopped him at first. Luna finally became more involved in the passion and removed the mask, which ended up on the floor near the bed. Despite the darkness of the room and her position on the bed, Luna was able to conceal her identity from Will. Back with Electra, she texted Will how much she adored him and couldn't wait until tomorrow night. Luna saw the text on Will's phone, but she managed to keep his attention on her. Meanwhile, Deacon Sharp informed Sheila how intoxicated Will became, and how he carried him to the spare room to sleep it off. Sheila suspected Will didn't eat enough to keep up with his booze intake, and wondered if Deacon should have sent him home. Deacon told Sheila that he had updated Katie Logan on the issue, and that Will was fine sleeping it off there. When the conversation returned to Luna, Deacon apologized for bringing up such a sensitive topic and appeared anxious to resume his private celebration with Sheila. Sheila spoke with Lee on the phone during a private moment and said she hadn't seen Luna yet. Although Sheila mentioned Luna probably wanted a walk and some fresh air after being pent up, Lee was concerned because she had been gone for hours. Lee feared that if she was apprehended and returned to prison, all of her plans for Luna would be foiled. According to the Bold and the Beautiful spoilers, Luna will make more startling moves in the upcoming episodes, so don't miss out on the action. Her heels clicked across the polished hardwood floor as she stormed forward, an unexpected tempest interrupting the intimate silence. Luna's head sprang up, her eyes wide with surprise, as Will raced to draw the sheet over himself, blushing with humiliation. But Sheila was not looking for apologies or explanations. Her hand reacted faster than her thoughts, sending a harsh slap through the room as it landed on Luna's cheek. The sound was clear and final like the crack of a whip. Luna exclaimed, her hand leaping to her hurting face, her eyes sparkling with a combination of anguish and defiance. "How dare you?" Sheila's voice was low and spiteful, every syllable dripping with scorn. "Do you think you can just walk into this family and do whatever you want? With him?" She pointed a finger at Will, who seemed to want to disappear into the floor. "You are a shame, Luna. A cheap little opportunist who doesn't know her place." Luna's disbelief turned to wrath, and she pushed herself up, holding the sheet to her chest. "You don't get to judge me, Sheila," she retorted, her voice shaking but firm. "You are not my mother. You're not a member of this family. You're simply a washed-up crook who believes she can control everyone." The words struck Sheila like a punch, but she didn't move. If anything, they fueled her. She drew closer, towering over Luna, her presence oppressive. "Do you believe you're untouchable now that you have the Forrester name behind you? You're nothing more than a momentary distraction, a girl in over her head. And Will?" She looked at him, her eyes narrowing. "He's simply a boy pretending to be a man. You're both pathetic." Will, who had been silent until now, suddenly spoke up. "Sheila, you should leave. This is not your concern." His tone was solid, but there was a faint quiver behind it, indicating his nervousness. Everyone knew Sheila's reputation. The woman was a walking cyclone, causing turmoil wherever she went. Sheila laughed coldly, sending a chill across the room. "It's not my business." "Oh well, you have no concept about my business. But let me be clear. I'm not here to see you two destroy everything this family has created." She returned her attention to Luna, her eyes sharp. "You are playing a deadly game, little child. And you're going to find out exactly how dangerous I can be." The showdown was the latest in a line of explosive incidents that had shattered the Forrester and Spencer families, two dynasties bound together by love, betrayal, and the cutthroat world of high fashion. Luna, the newest member of the Forrester family, had arrived under enigmatic circumstances, her background a jumble of half-truths and unresolved questions. Some called her a gold digger, while others saw her as a lost soul looking for a place to belong. But one thing was certain: she had a talent for causing trouble. Her affinity with Will, the wayward son of Bill Spencer and Katie Logan, was instant, a spark that threatened to unleash a firestorm. Their late-night rendezvous, clandestine kisses in the design studio, and whispered vows had been the talk of the Forrester estate for weeks. No one expected Sheila Carter, of all people, to interfere. Everyone was taken aback by Sheila's unexpected return to Los Angeles. After years of plots, false deaths, and prison stays, she had resurfaced with a renewed desire to make a place for herself in the lives of individuals she professed to care about. Her preoccupation with the Forrester family, particularly her son Finn, had previously drove her to extremes, but she appeared to have set her sights on a new mission: to defend the family's legacy from what she viewed as Luna's dangerous influence. Sheila saw Luna as a threat, a wild card who could upset the careful balance of power and loyalty that held the Forresters together. As Sheila stood there staring at Luna and Will, the weight of her words weighed in the air. Luna, still shaken from the slap, refused to back down. "Do you think you can scare me?" she remarked, her voice more stable now. "You aren't as powerful as you believe, Sheila. You're just a sad, desperate lady clinging to a family that doesn't want you." Luna understood that the words were a gamble. Sheila had a notorious rage and an unrivaled propensity for retribution. But Luna was not the sort to cower. She had fought her way into the Forrester world, starting from nothing, and she was not about to let Sheila undermine everything she had accomplished. The two women locked eyes in a wordless war of wills, each daring the other to take the next step. Will, knowing the situation was deteriorating, rose up and placed himself between them. "Enough," he stated, his voice stern. "Sheila, you have made your point. Now get out before this gets worse." Sheila's lips twitched, as if she was deciding whether to escalate or flee. Her hand twitched at her side, as if she was about to lash out again. But then she took a step back, her look softening to almost amused. "Oh, this is far from over," she continued, her voice smooth and menacing. "Do you two want to play house? Fine. But don't say I didn't warn you when it all comes crumbling down." With that, she turned on her heel and walked out of the room, her exit as dramatic as her arrival. The hush that ensued was deafening. Luna took a nervous breath, her hand still pressed to her cheek, the faint outline of Sheila's hand beginning to vanish. Will reached for her, but his touch was cautious. "Are you all right?" he inquired, his voice quiet and concerned. Luna nodded, but her gaze remained distant, her mind racing. "She's not going to stop," she said softly. "She's going to keep coming after me until she gets what she wants." Will's jaw hardened. "She won't touch you again." "I won't let her." But Luna wasn't convinced. She knew Sheila's personality: ruthless, devious, and completely unexpected. This wasn't just a smack or an act of jealousy. Sheila had a larger agenda, which included breaking Luna down and ensuring she never fully fit in the Forrester world. And as much as Luna wanted to believe in Will's protection, she couldn't help but feel like she was in over her head. The next morning, the Forrester mansion was buzzing with the aftermath of the previous night's events. The story of Sheila's fight with Luna and Will had spread like wildfire, whispered in the corridors of Forrester Creations and discussed over coffee in the design studio. Rich Forrester, the family patriarch, was outraged, but it was unclear if he was angry with Luna, Will, or Sheila. Brooke Logan, ever the mediator, attempted to settle the situation by encouraging everyone to focus on the impending fashion show rather than personal grievances. But the tension was apparent, like a thunder cloud hovering over the household. Luna, meanwhile, was desperate to prove herself. She immersed herself into her work at Forrester Creations, sketching designs late into the night, her pencil flowing with passion that mirrored her emotions. She wasn't just fighting for her place in the corporation. She was fighting for her place in the family, in Will's life, and in a world that appeared destined to reject her. Her creations were strong and adventurous, a mirror of her own energy, with brilliant colors, sharp lines, and a hint of defiance. She knew the fashion show was her opportunity to show everyone, even Sheila, that she was not going anywhere. Will, too, was dealing with the fallout. His relationship with Luna had always been difficult, combining true affection with the thrill of defiance. He liked her fire and stubbornness to back down, but he was also aware of the dangers of getting too close. His family had its own set of secrets and scandals, and aligning himself with Luna meant inviting more upheaval into his world. Still, he couldn't deny his attraction to her. The way her smile could brighten a room, or the way her touch made him forget the weight of his surname. Sheila, of course, was far from finished. She peered from the shadows, her mind racing. She had allies, people who owed her favors and shared her anger for Luna's unexpected rise. Sheila wasn't just using raw force or intimidation. She was playing a lengthy game, sowing seeds of doubt, whispering in the proper ears, and waiting for the ideal moment to attack. She knew the Forresters better than they knew themselves, their flaws, worries, and fragile alliances. And she was willing to take advantage of each of them. The stress increased over time. Luna and Will tried to keep their connection private, but stray glances in the design studio and late-night encounters in the guest house were difficult to conceal. The family was divided, with some seeing Luna as a breath of fresh air, and others as a liability. Ridge, divided between family duty and a desire to learn more about Luna's talent, kept her at arm's length and watched her intently. Brooke, ever the optimist, saw potential in Luna but was concerned about the havoc she seemed to attract. Finn, Sheila's son, was caught in the crossfire, split between his allegiance to his mother and his wish to maintain peace. The approaching fashion show loomed enormous, a make-or-break opportunity for Luna and, by implication, the entire Forrester family. The press was already buzzing, anxious for a peek of the new designs and the inevitable drama that would surround the Forresters. Luna's collection was the showpiece, a daring statement that could either solidify her position in the fashion world or reveal her as a fraud. She poured everything into it, including her love, rage, and disobedience. Every stitch, fabric choice, and detail was a declaration that I belonged here. But Sheila had different intentions. She wasn't content with letting Luna shine. She had fought for her place in the world for far too long to let some upstart to take it away. Her plots were initially subtle. A missed fabric order, a whispered rumor about Luna's past, and a precisely timed power outage in the design office. But as the fashion show approached, her behaviors became bolder. She enlisted an old ally, someone with a personal vendetta against the Forresters, to assist her destroy Luna's moment. The strategy was straightforward but devastating. Damage the collection, embarrass Luna, and demonstrate to everyone that she did not belong. The fashion show night arrived, and it was a dazzling affair at the Forrester estate, complete with sparkling chandeliers and flowing champagne. The runway was set, the models were ready, and the press was prepared with cameras and notepads. Luna stood on stage, her heart beating and her hands quivering as she worked out the final details on her designs. Will was there, flashing a soothing grin, but he couldn't take away her worry. Something felt off, but she couldn't put her finger on it. As the first model walked down the runway, the audience gasped, not in admiration but in shock. The dress, one of Luna's signature creations, was coming apart at the seams, the cloth tearing with each step. Whispers evolved into murmurs, then outright laughs. Luna's face heated as she realized what had happened. Someone had tampered with the stitching, making it weak enough to cause a calamity. She turned to Will, her eyes wide with dread. But before she could say anything, Sheila appeared, her look arrogant. "Looks like your big moment's falling apart, Luna," she added, her voice dripping with false compassion. "Maybe you're not cut out for this after all." Luna's hands tightened into fists, her nails cutting into her palms. She wanted to scream, blame Sheila, and demand answers. But the show continued, and every second presented another opportunity for humiliation. She needed to act quickly. She grabbed a needle and thread from a nearby table and ran to the next model, her fingers moving with desperation. She wasn't going to let Sheila win, not tonight or ever. Will, observing Luna's drive, leaped in to aid, telling the models to stall while she worked. They worked together to salvage what they could, reinforcing seams, correcting fits, and sending the models back out with confidence that belied the pandemonium behind the scenes. The audience, which was originally dubious, warmed up to the designs, their enthusiasm becoming louder with each new look. Despite Sheila's best efforts, Luna's vision shone through. Bold, vibrant, and unapologetic. By the end of the night, the show was a success, albeit not without its flaws. The press recognized Luna as an emerging star, with her tenacity serving as much of a story as her creations. But Luna knew that this was merely the beginning. Sheila was not going to quit, and neither would she. The slap in the bedroom served as a warning, igniting a war. And Luna was prepared to battle. As the guests chatted and the champagne flowed, Luna stood at the side of the runway, scrutinizing the throng. Sheila was observing, planning her next move. But Luna was no longer terrified. She had Will by her side, her creations on the runway, and a fire in her heart that no one, not even Sheila Carter, could put out. The Forster mansion would never be the same. The lines had been drawn, and the battles had been chosen. In the world of the bold and the beautiful, nothing seemed certain, except that the drama was far from ended.